4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. We have an action-packed workshop in Minecraft Education Edition, Hour of Code. We have some awesome guest speakers for you today, and we'll get to them in just a second, but I'll introduce myself and my colleague Amar here from the Cobblestone Collective. There we go. We are so excited to be here. My name is Coulter, and I'm calling in from Toronto, Ontario. I am a school teacher here and a Minecraft enthusiast and trainer, so we just are so excited to share with you some really cool things in Minecraft education and Hour of Code today. And we also have my colleague Amar. Amar, maybe you want to say hello to yourself, to everybody.
Thanks, Coulter. Hey, my name's Amar. I'm a teacher from Toronto, and I'm super excited because we have some great guests that I'm going to introduce just shortly. And I'm looking forward to playing Minecraft and just learning a little bit more about block coding with Coulter.
Yeah, I'm excited to even take that next step today, maybe even learn a little bit more about some Python. But we want to quickly start with just an land acknowledgement. I think it's very important, especially for Amar and I, because we're pretty close and we're neighbors here in Toronto, and we're both from the lands of the Mississaugas of the Credit. I'm on Treaty 13A, and Amar, I believe you're on just Treaty 13. And it's just an important piece of our identity as we are tasked with being caretakers of this land. I encourage you, wherever you are, to learn a little bit more about the land that you're on by visiting native-land.ca, so you can have an understanding about what land you're in charge of caretaking. I want to give a quick shout out to Minecraft Education Edition for supporting our session today. Thank you so much for being able to bring this to students in classrooms across the country and across wherever you may be joining us from today. We do have an awesome individual on our call today. This is Miss Ashley Davidson from Minecraft. Ashley, if you want to unmute your microphone and say hello to everybody, that'd be great.
Hi, everybody. Very nice to meet you all. So glad you're here today. I'm a marketing manager on Minecraft for the Education Edition. So my team brings all sorts of super fun ways to learn through Minecraft, and having you all with us to learn together is one of the most exciting things we do. So thank you for being here. I look forward to taking you all through TimeCraft. And with that, I'll turn it back to Coulter.
Awesome. So we do also have two wonderful Minecraft Education Edition developers on here. So students out there, you are in for a treat today because you get to interact with our developers and the programmers here at Minecraft Education, which is great that you're going to get to have some firsthand experience talking to people that get paid to make video games, which is awesome, right? That's something that I think some of us just dream about. So we get to have some nice Q&A where you're going to be able to ask them some questions, maybe about what they did when they were your age to produce or to get their way up into Minecraft, up in the ranks of Minecraft education. So our plan is just to meet Drew and Taylor. We're going to ask them some questions, and then we're going to get to some coding, which is great. So we're just going to warm you up with some questions first, because we want you to share some things with us today. And I know you can see us and hear us, but we cannot hear or see you. But we've set this up for you. We've set this up for you where you can use the form, thecc.page/MEE, Minecraft Education Edition. That's the acronym. So thecc.page/MEE. If you put that in an internet browser, so if you opened up maybe your internet, if you opened up Edge or maybe Google, and you typed in at the top of the browser, thecc.page/MEE, you'll see a form that will come up. Now you'll be able to put your name in that form and ask your questions or answer our questions. So we do have a warm-up question for you, and we want to hear from you. Question is, have you coded before? And if you have coded before, what language did you use to code? So these are just practice warm-up questions so you can get prepared. So when it's time to ask Taylor and Drew some questions, you'll be ready to go. And they also want to hear from you what language you've coded before. So We got my colleague Amar on the horn over there. Amar, maybe you can tell us if there's been any answers that have come through just yet. I know it might be a quick little delay, but we can see. Oh, I've got one. Sharish. And again, if I pronounce your name incorrectly, I'm sorry. I'm going to do my best. My name is Coulter, so I got this growing up as a kid. I got every nickname or every mispronunciation you can imagine. So that's okay. And if I mispronounce your name, I'm not trying to be funny, or it's not trying to be personal. I'll do my best. So Emil, thank you for chiming in. Oh, Jad has already jumped the gun and started asking our coders some questions. Keenan, yes, in English and French. Awesome, Keenan. That's great. Caden has not coded yet, so that's great. Jaden, I sometimes use Java and blocks, but I'm not that good at Java. That's okay, Jaden. We're going to get better. Adam, Python. Ooh, Adam, you're going to be in for a good one today because Drew is our Python expert and has coded in Python and has developed some things with Minecraft education in Python. So that's great to see. And Carter, the type of code I have used is Lua code. I'm not too familiar with that, but maybe one of our experts have an idea about what that might be. And what else do we have? We've got Holy Cross School chiming in, saying they've coded in Python, which is great. And Hunter, I've used Scratch in English, and I've coded before, and Jaden has also said that. And C#, awesome. Arush has coded in Python. Wow, this form is blowing up for me right now. We've already got over 100 answers, and I can't even keep up with this. So I will do my best. Just keep putting your name in and answering our questions, and we can see that P.P. has used HTML. So thank you very much. Room 9 has got Scratch. Wow. Okay. Awesome. So we're getting the hang of this. I think we're ready for our next question. I think we're ready for the next question. Can you think of a job or a hobby that requires you to code? It's a little bit more challenging. What's a job or a hobby that requires you to code? Maybe outside of Minecraft. Maybe something that's a little bit outside of Minecraft that you might use on a daily basis. Maybe you've only used it once or twice, or maybe your family member has done it before. So visit us at thecc.page/mee and tell us, can you think of a job or a hobby that requires you to code? And we'll let these answers sort of trickle in. And after this, we're going to introduce our 2 coders today. I'm so excited for you to meet them. And I know we're sitting back there, we're like, okay, let's have a think about this, because I can tell you right now that I can see some answers just kind of trickling in. And I know I don't want to give any away just yet, because I want you to have a think about what job or hobby requires you to code. Because that's sort of what we're working on. We're working on making you these coding experts. That's our job as teachers. So we want you to become these experts. We want you to come and work at Minecraft. We want you to be a teacher that also works with Minecraft and gets to work at home sometimes, which is great. I know Amar's nodding his head back there. And I can see a bunch more answers coming in. Thanks, Greg, for chiming in. And David, that's a nice compliment, David. And Salman, software developer, yeah. Salman, thanks for chiming in. Robotics, Alicio, yeah, you're right. Miles is a generic coder. Tamid says engineering, you're right. Jonathan with a developer. A lot of individuals have chimed in with engineering, like Zach and Keith. John says a scientist, yeah, computer scientists use coding all the time. Different types of scientists, even doctors use some coding sometimes, right? We've got lots. Game developer from Gabriel. What a job that would be, right? Developing games, playing games, being a tester. That seems like a lot of fun. So we got lots of these answers coming in. Game maker, Yiddish, and Trace. Thank you so much. Wow, these are flying in here, making apps from Zaire. I hope I pronounced that correct. Zaire. I'm doing my best, folks. I'm doing my best.
Hey, I really like Sam's answer. Maybe coding a game like Halo or Forza Horizon. Cool, Sam. Thanks for sharing that.
Awesome. Okay, so we've got some of these answers, and it looks like we're pretty apt at doing our answers at thecc.page/mee. So maybe it's time that I allow Drew and Taylor to introduce themselves. And it doesn't matter who goes first, Drew or Taylor. Maybe one of you can jump on and just introduce yourselves and let us know what you do.
Yeah, I can go first. So, hi, I'm Taylor. I am a software developer at Minecraft Education Edition. And so I get to do really awesome stuff like work on Minecraft. So as kind of an example of something I've done quite a bit of work on the signing in process. So anything that you see before you sign into the game, any error messages you get when it doesn't work out, those are stuff that I've worked on.
That's you, eh, Taylor? You're the one that's popping up and saying you've mistyped your username. User error here, right? Double check your password. I didn't know that was a specific job, but obviously that is, isn't it? It has to be.
Yeah, and I get to work on, all sorts of other fun features and bugs too. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Awesome. And Drew, what about yourself?
Hi, hello everyone. I'm Drew. Let's see. I've been working on a lot of the code builder things, like especially related to Python. So I guess that makes me a Python expert now. Also, Taylor left out an important thing that I know a lot of you are excited about, that both of us and the whole team has worked on, which is getting the Nether update and Caves and Cliffs out to everyone. So yeah, it's sort of a big thing that we sort of forget about it because we've been doing it for like a year now. So we finally got it to you guys.
Did you say there's a Nether update coming? Did I hear that correctly?
Like a week ago, the Nether update from a year ago in Bedrock and the Caves and Cliffs Part 1.
Wow.
We worked really hard to get them out to you guys.
I can already hear some classes around Canada right now that are getting excited and that they've interrupted our lesson and they've just got pretty pumped up there. So that's awesome. So Drew, do you have a favorite sort of thing that you like to do with your job? Maybe what does your daily routine look like, I guess?
Yeah, let's see. I like to start working like early before a lot of the other people have come online, because even working from home, I can tell when it's quiet in the office. And I'll go write some code, like maybe I'm working on a new feature or I'm fixing some bugs, and then as more people come online, I'll take some time to work with my teammates and actually like look at other people's code and give some advice about like, hey, like, this looks good, or I think maybe you can improve these things. And then there's always some fun meetings, which range from meetings that are actually really fun that I can't tell you about, or there's meetings that are like, we're like, okay, we have this problem, we need to fix it, let's all figure out how to do this as fast as we can. So it's a fun mix of things, and then some more code after that. So
you're telling me, Drew, that you actually in real life, as a real adult, you have to go back and edit your work? Yeah, because I know there's some students out there that are just like, I've already written my story, why do I need to go back and reread it? It's already done, it's already perfect. Why do I need to edit this? But you actually have to go back and redo things. Oh, those teachers out there, they're so smart, just trying to prepare us for higher education and life, aren't they? Yeah, we have to, every time we write some code, we look at it and we're like, no, it could be a little better this way. And then you have like 5 other people look at it and they're all like, oh, you could do it this way and this way and this way and this way. And you also work with your classmates as well, then help edit your work. That is awesome, Drew. That's great. I'm sure some students out there are catching my my subtleties, right? They're understanding what I'm trying to say, right, students? And Taylor, maybe you could now tell us maybe a little bit about your routine. I think that's important, that students understand maybe what you look like in the morning, or not in the morning, but like as as your day unfolds. What are some of the things that you do?
Yeah, so in quite a few ways, my day is similar to Drew. I get to work on coding bugs or features, and then like Drew, look at other people's code and, give feedback on it so they can go edit their work, get feedback on my own code so I can go edit my work, meetings. One kind of thing that's fun this week is that we're actually having some meetings to brainstorm kind of the future of Minecraft Education Edition. So that's been pretty fun to be in some meetings about, all the wild ideas that we could do in the future.
Again, those brainstorming techniques that you're learning at school right now really transfer over to when you're an adult. So that's really good to hear, Taylor. Thank you for sharing. So I think it's now time that we want to hear from you. What types of questions do you have for our coders out there? What type of questions might you have for our experts? And I can already see a few of them trickling in, and it happens real fast here. So I'll do my best to find some and just get us started with some questions. And maybe if you have a specific question for Drew or for Taylor, you can put their name in there or just their initial, and I can ask them specifically. But let's see what we have trickling in.
Hey, Coulter, I got you with one. So we have a question for Taylor. What inspired you to start your awesome coding career?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. So when I was little, I liked puzzles, and I've always really liked puzzles. And so then I discovered in high school, I took AP Computer Science, and I discovered that coding is a lot like solving puzzles. And so that was something that really drew me to computer science. And then in college, I took a course called Gaming for the Greater Good, where I got to design a video game for kids with autism. And I've really liked that course, and kind of it really showed me the impact that coding could have. And so that's really what kind of inspired me to become a software developer.
Awesome. And that was from, I believe, Tay messaged that one in there, so thanks. And I see that Jonathan's got another question for us, and it asks, are Drew and Taylor in charge of the Education Edition splash screen texts?
So I've heard the way of how to add things in. I've heard there's some people will secretly add text in, and then other people will go through the official route and talk to the whole team about it. I can neither confirm nor deny whether I've added any texts in. So.
So Drew, maybe you can explain for some of us, like myself, what does a splash text mean? What do you mean by that? Does that mean that it's on the screen, or what is splash text exactly?
Yes. So when you open the game and you're on the main menu, and you have the options, it says Minecraft Education. It's like play, hour of code, settings. There's a little like yellow text that's like popping on the side. And for instance, the one I have right now says teacher's gonna teach. And there's like 1,000 different things that I might say. Yeah, and those just sort of sit in a text file. And there's a bunch of fun things.
And so it sounds like you can have some fun with that with your colleagues, right?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So we have a few others that have trickled in. We have Prophet and Samuel. They're together, and it asks, how long did it take for the Nether update? We've been so excited for it. I told you they were pumped up about it. So how long does it take for, maybe that doesn't have to be specific to the Nether, maybe a general update? And what does that sort of look like? And how long do those usually take? And how long might you work on something?
Yeah, I can take this question. So in general, we're kind of thinking about what we want to update pretty far into the future. And it takes a while to kind of think about it and kind of get a plan down for like what we're actually going to do. And then once we have that plan down, it takes, I would say, anywhere between 4 to 9 months to like actually get that update out in terms of the work for coding and stuff. So like with the latest update, that's something that we actually started working on back in January. So you can see that it's been a while, but it was a lot of work to get 2 big Bedrock updates into Minecraft Education Edition.
Awesome, thanks for that. Yadish has asked, What was the first language Drew and Taylor learned? So for some of you out there, coding is a language. So there are different languages of coding, right? We talked about that in one of the first questions that I asked you, and you probably heard that there's Java and there's Python, and there's some other ones that we don't use as much anymore. But what they want to know is, Drew and Taylor, what was your first language that you learned?
I can go first. So the first language I learned, I was back in school, like I was playing Minecraft, and I was like, this was like, long, like Minecraft from a long time ago. And I was playing it and I was like, oh wow, like games are cool. I want to try and like do something with games. And so that was when Minecraft was only written in Java. And so I was like, okay, well then I should learn Java because Minecraft is in Java. And so I started learning some Java and made like a little mod that was very simple. It turned like cactus into wearable armor and helmets, and you can make tools out of dirt. They weren't very useful, neither of those. But yeah, so I started with Java, and then like going into college, it started to branch out, but just learning something was nice.
So that kind of answered Brooklyn's question as well. Sort of like, when did you know you wanted to work with Minecraft? And it seems like you kind of knew right away that you wanted to learn in Minecraft, which just kind of allowed you to move into this career.
Yeah, I guess I was pretty set on doing gaming pretty early, but I didn't know where I wanted to go. And I actually like popped around in some other places until eventually like found a spot on Minecraft, and I was like, okay, yes, like this is fun.
Awesome. And how about yourself, Taylor? What was the first language you learned?
Yeah, so I started learning like a bit of coding with Lego Mindstorms. So that's a little bit more kind of drag and drop based. And then in high school, I did a little bit with Java. And then like Drew, once I got to college, I started learning many more languages. And then I can also kind of answer the how do I, get to Minecraft. So unlike Drew, I in no way thought I'd end up in gaming. That wasn't really something that I was even thinking about. Again, until I took that course in college called Gaming for the Greater Good. And then kind of because of that course, I became a teaching assistant for that course. And then got an internship at Microsoft with Xbox. And so worked on Xbox Studios quality, which is kind of quality assurance. So making sure that the games that we produce are good and fun to play. And so then I really liked that, but wanted to be a little bit more like actually working directly on a game. And so my second internship was with Minecraft Education Edition. And so from there, that's how I got onto this team.
That's awesome. So just to clarify, your first role with Microsoft, they put you in a room and said, we want you to play this game and tell us what you think of it?
Kind of. So I was specifically building a tool to test visual accessibility in our video games. So making sure that the text size is large enough on screen, because a lot of times when you're making a video game, you're sitting down at a computer screen that's right in front of you. But if you're playing a video game, a lot of people play from their couch, looking at their TV. So like something that was readable on a computer screen, suddenly it's like, whoa, that's way too small on, from the couch. So kind of checking things like that to make sure that everything is visible and, readable in game.
Awesome. So that also kind of trickles into our next question from room 12, asking what was your first coding project? So this is for both of you. It doesn't matter. I guess, Taylor, would you consider that a coding project or just a general project that you were working on or tasked with?
That was definitely a coding project. I mean, in kind of my first like CS class in high school, we had all sorts of coding projects. One that kind of stuck out in my mind when we were first learning about making a list in coding. We made river battleship because our list, was, you're talking about kind of a list of numbers, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, but that's not the same thing as a grid, like the actual game Battleship. So it was a one-dimensional battleship field. So it was on a river that we were playing Battleship. So that was a lot of fun.
Awesome. How about yourself, Drew? What was your first coding project?
I've been going back and forth on which one was first, because I'm not sure which one came first, but the more fun answer of the two is the mod that I mentioned about Minecraft, turning the like dirt into tools and the cactus helmet.
That's I think that's great that it's one of your memories, right? I don't know my first coding project, mainly because I think I was just thrown into Minecraft, and it's definitely been within Minecraft and stuff, but mine was probably with blocks of and the drag and drop features. But I think it's really nice to hear that you both kind of really remember, and it has a little piece of your heart, I guess, still, of what your first coding project was. So I think students out there, I think it's great if you can remember your first coding project. And I know when I'm with my students, we talk about things like, oh, I just coded a game tonight, or I just did my first line of block coding, or I was using Scratch and I learned this, or I was using MakeCode and I did this, or I was in Minecraft and I made the chickens rain. So those are great, and I really like that. It's something that you've remembered, and it's gone along with you. So okay, we have time for probably 2 more questions. Amar, do you see one out there that we should specifically ask that you really like?
Yeah, so maybe Drew and Taylor, I'm not sure how comfortable you are sharing this because it might reveal your ages. How long have you been coding at this point? Drew, why don't you go first?
Let's see. So I didn't get to touch coding like as early as what a lot of people here. I mean, I think high school is still pretty early, but yeah, I was not exposed to any like block-based coding growing up and stuff. So I think for me it was sophomore year of high school, which would have been like 2011. So now I feel like, gosh, I guess I've been doing it like 10 years now, which is crazy. But yeah, that's.
And how about yourself, Taylor?
Yeah, so I didn't get any sort of, CS class until I was a senior in high school. So I've been coding at this point for probably about 6 years.
So I'm going to go on a limb here and say that our audience and our students right now, we're probably a bit younger than when you started coding, and they already have this at their fingertips. So by the time they get into a sophomore or grade 10 of high school, or a senior, grade 12, you're already going to have 6 years experience on our coders that we're speaking with today. So you're quite lucky to be able to have this at your fingertips and be able to do this, especially in Minecraft, because I know that a lot of you out there are pretty comfortable with Minecraft. If I asked you to give me like a thumbs up if you played it before, or a thumb sideways if you sort of played it, I bet you a majority of us are going to have our thumbs up. So and you've already started doing some coding, and you're probably between the ages of 9 to maybe 14, somewhere around there. So that's great that you're able to do this and getting a head start. I found this question from Rafia, and I think this is a great question because it talks about resiliency and being a resilient student. And it says, how do you feel like when you've been working all the time and then at the last second you find a groundbreaking bug that completely destroys your progress? So I think that's probably a good question, because I think that's something that we have to deal with in life all the time. And
can I just add something for Rafia's question? Not only how you feel, but then how do you deal with it as well? What are some strategies you use?
Yeah, so I can tell you a fun story about from about a week and a half ago. So we were very, very close to releasing, and it was like a couple of days before we're like, okay, we're ready to give this to all the kids. And we realized that about half of the coding just stopped working. Like about like half the lessons, you couldn't, writing the code didn't work. And this was like, we were like ready to send Minecraft out to everyone. And we were like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. You can't code in like, yeah, you can understand why that would be bad. So, but I mean, it's like, okay, we have a whole team of people who are software engineers. Like, we've fixed these kinds of bugs before. And we just we work together. We get like a few people working on it and sharing like, hey, I'm gonna look at this, like I'm gonna look at this. And we just like, okay, we're gonna focus and we, trust in our abilities and we can figure it out. And we did figure it out, so you can code now.
Yeah, I think that's important that we trust in ourselves and we have that ability to persevere and just keep moving forward, right? We recognized our mistake. You didn't just give up, right? You're like, okay, we have this ability. I know that I'm smart. I know that I can do this. I've done something similar in the past, and I just need to keep working forward to try to find a solution. Taylor, do you have a similar experience or a little story you want to tell us as well?
Yeah, so I mean, as Drew mentioned, there's oftentimes some stuff that crops up before releases. And so it's definitely always, kind of disappointing. And I always kind of have to be like, okay, like, need to take a deep breath, to kind of relax and then dive into the problem. But I mean, again, as Drew mentioned, like we have a whole team to rely on, and that's really important when trying to kind of fix these major bugs. And the other thing to realize is that we don't always catch them all. Even after we released, we've been having customer reports of bugs that they've found, and so then it's like, okay, like let's go back to the drawing board. Let's fix up some of these bugs that customers have found, and then we can have another release to fix those.
Awesome. So that's great. And I know all our students out there are super pumped that we got to speak to you directly and have some of their questions answered. So thank you both for so much for being here today and just having a discussion with our students. I think it's great that you're spending some time with us. So on behalf of all the students out there, thank you both. And I do have a little surprise for our students. They're actually going to stay on. Drew and Taylor are going to stay on and code with us today. And I'm just going to be their guide, and I'm going to learn alongside you students out there as we get to follow Drew and Taylor through Hour of Code and Minecraft Education Edition 2021. So our TimeCraft world is what we're going to get into now. So we want you students out there to start logging in to your Minecraft education. So let's code, let's get up and running. And if you have a username and password, so a lot of you out there will be able to use your school name and your school domain and school password, whatever you use to sign into your school computers, you should be able to sign into Minecraft here. So you can use your username and password. And once you get in there, we're going to click Hour of Code, but you can also hang out for just a second when you get here and we'll give you some further instructions. So sign on into your Minecraft using your school account. If you do not have a school password and username that will work, that's okay. Minecraft has set you up today to allow you to still play alongside us. When you open up Minecraft Education, you'll see that at the bottom, you'll see a green link underneath that says sign in. And it says, if you do not have an account, try a demo lesson. And you'll still be able to try our demo lesson, Hour of Code. So again, sign in using your school email and account. And then head on over, click on Hour of Code, and you'll see that this will pop up because it's right from the home screen. And you'll be able to see Hour of Code 2021 TimeCraft. We're going to create that world. We're going to allow you to give a second or two to get in here. But remember, teachers out there, if you need to pause us, you can always pause us. And come back when you're all set up and ready to go. So feel free to do that. But I'm sure you got a bunch of students sitting there itching to go, ready to rock, ready to start. Some of you probably have already created your world, and that's okay if you have. I encourage you, though, just to hang tight with us and follow our guides today because you do have these experts here. So we're going to move through some TimeCraft here. Remember, when you get in, press the letter H, and that's going to help you move around and learn your controls. Maybe you're on an iPad. You have some different controls for your iPad. If it's a touch screen, we encourage you to use your touch screen. So I think I'm going to turn my PowerPoint off here. I'm going to hand it over to maybe Drew or Taylor, whoever's got their Minecraft up and ready to go. And just the introduction phase where we're just going to learn and practice our moves and walk into our first time lapse. So I'm going to switch my screens out. And I'm going to even stop sharing my screen. Oh, someone's already, oh, perfect. Someone's taken over. Awesome.
We
Taylor.
have a Taylor on, yes.
All right. Yes. So I am, let's see, just opened up the world and this is what I see. So I'm going to go ahead and push the button. I am using a mouse, so mine is left click to use that button.
Yeah, some of our students out there, you might be right click if you're on a PC. If you're on a Chromebook, you might have to do your snake bite, your 2-finger tap. So maybe that might be your right click. And we're going to be searching while our spacecraft here loads here. You are going to be looking for a bunch of buttons today. So you want to make sure that you know your right click. And it probably is well, I say right click. It could be your left click. It could be a 2-finger tap. So it'd be just like you're placing a block down.
Yep. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and follow the directions on the screen to get used to moving around the world. Culture, I can't hear you if you're talking.
I clicked it once and it didn't go, and then I double clicked and it muted me again. So that's okay. I was just going to say that I love seeing some of my younger students, like kindergarten to grade 1, that are just learning how to use computers, and they sometimes cross their hands on the keyboard, and they just don't have that posture yet because they're unfamiliar with it. So do you use your left ring finger on the W, or do you use your left middle finger on the W? What do you use for that?
Yeah, I use my left middle finger on the W. That's how I like having.
Yeah, and the thumb's ready there for the space bar in case you got to jump or
Yep.
move around, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Awesome. So we've kind of gone through the little tutorial here. I really like this world because some of us out there are beginners in Minecraft, and it gives you that little light up along the way, those little stars that are flashing. And it really does allow us to just practice walking through. And some might go a little bit faster than others. Some already might know how to do this. But make your way, and then we're going to press that enter button there, and we're going to head into our really cool world here. I'm super excited. Again, teachers out there, if you need an extra moment, you're able to just pause us and then catch up with us when you're ready and your class is ready. But this is our first introduction. So Taylor, maybe you can talk about who Tara is.
Yeah, so Tara is our assistant in the control room here, and she will give us, a nice introduction to TimeCraft and let us know what we need to be doing.
Awesome. So when you click next, is this when it prompts you to choose blocks or Python?
Yep, exactly.
Perfect. So today, students out there, you're able to choose either or. Whatever one you'd like, you can choose that. There's lots of help here for you. You can follow along. We can also provide some demos once we share Drew's screen eventually. He's going to be doing one or two of the codes in Python for us. So choose whichever one you'd like. If you've done blocks and you're really good at blocks, today might be the day you try Python for the first time. And that's okay if you're not ready for Python and you're still working in blocks. Awesome. I know myself, I'm still working in blocks. My Python is, I'm excited to see what Drew can pull up today and maybe learn a few tricks and tips from him. So you're going to choose blocks, correct, Taylor?
Yep, I'm going to choose blocks today.
Perfect. So we're going to select blocks, and we're going to go find our time agent. So I believe you walk straight through, but Tara's going to keep us in line today, it's an it, right? Isn't it? And so Tara will allow us to be that NPC that guides us. So once you're in our TimeCraft world, you're going to be asked to choose a time agent after you select your blocks or Python. Do you have a particular one that you like to select, Taylor?
I like to select Pixie because my favorite color is purple.
Okay, so head on over and select Pixie. Students out there, you can select any one of the 5 if you'd like. However, if you do Pixie, you're going to be following along with Taylor's and her code as well. So you'll be able to see what's on her screen and compare it to your code. Now, if you choose, say, Banshee or the Gremlin, you will have a little bit different tasks, which is great about this world, is that you're going to have different tasks to complete. But the first one is always going to be the same, so we'll get you started. So if you select Pixie by clicking on that button, and then I love that we can just press the letter C, and we're going to deploy our time agent. Look at that code that pops up there. That's already confusing to me. Awesome, great choice. We're going to go to the test area, and this is a nice one. It's just going to let us get started, right? So we're going to head over to the test area. So follow that star-studded lineup that will highlight where you need to walk. So follow that lineup, students out there. And we're going to head up, and Tara pops up again. And they've given us a little device. And so Taylor is going to use this little device. It's going to pop up in her hotbar. And we can see that hotbar there. And Taylor, if you want to use the hotbar, what do you need to do?
Yeah, so you need to make sure that you're highlighting the correct item if you have multiple items in your hotbar. So I am doing it by scrolling on my mouse to make sure that the talk device is in my hand, and then I'm just going to click to use it, and it'll open up this box where Tara is talking to us again.
Awesome. And if you're out there and you don't have a wheel on your mouse, that's okay. You can always press numbers 1 to 9 to make sure that it's in your hand. So once you place down your little time device or talk device, you can always use that for hints too, which is helpful, isn't it? Yeah, so if we get a little stuck, we can always use that for hints. So we're going to start our activity. And this is a nice introduction one. I believe is just a simple one to get us started on learning about the drag and drop features. So Tara's going to pop up again. Tara's got a lot to say. She's very verbose. And so we can close that. And we're going to press C to code. Perfect. And these are your block. This is your block coding screen, right? And maybe you can explain what you need to do when you're doing some block coding.
Yeah, so our goal is to move the time agent ahead by 3 steps. So that way Pixie here ends up on the red block. And so you can do that a couple ways because a lot of times with code, you can have kind of multiple solutions that will get you to the correct behavior, the correct. So I am going to click and drag this move forward. And you can do this a couple ways. Since we want to move forward 3 times, you could drag 3 of these blocks. You can also click here on the number and update that number. And so now when I press the green play button, this should move Pixie forward by 3.
Yeah, I think that green play button is important to highlight, right? Whenever you want to run your code, at the bottom there, you'll see the green play button, and that will allow you to run your code. No time to lose. Follow me to the time computer to help fix these time splits. So that's your task today, students. You need to help fix these time splits. There's a problem in our time warps, and we need your help. So head on over to the time computer. Taylor's going to head on over there.
Yep. Yeah, so the timeline computer is this nice big console here in the center. All right, so we've detected a time split that we need to go fix. I'm going to select this one.
And everyone should have the first one there. We're all going to do the same one together. And then depending on your agent, you're going to be spread out to different ones, right?
Yep.
Perfect. So let's all do this first one together.
All right, so I'm going to go to the time pod.
I really love how you've coded this in Minecraft to highlight that trail. I think that's super helpful. So we only have enough power to do 3 times. So my guess is that once we complete these 3, we're going to, well, I guess we'll find out, right? What happens after we complete the 3?
Yep.
Perfect. So head on over, get into that time pod. We got 3 jumps remaining. There is that button again. This one says, in this time split, as soon to be famous jazz musician has lost their prized trumpet and is using a kazoo instead. Their influence on the world is disappearing. Travel to New York City, USA in the 1920s and save jazz. Awesome.
All right, now we just need to enter the time pod and press the button.
I think this is such a great update. I can't stop smiling when I see students play this and even you playing this. I think it's great. No.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and, oops, hang on.
Okay, I'm back. I got excited and accidentally closed the whole program. So it happens sometimes. So I know that some students out there have done this too. It's not the first and it won't be the last. So I accidentally clicked on the close button as I was trying to move my screen around. But you're already in. You're ready to start helping the jazz musician code to get their sax or their trumpet back.
Yep.
So students out there, if you're following along and you're right side by side with us, that's awesome. But I am going to say that if you're just a little behind, that's okay. You can, again, I'm just friendly reminder, you can pause us to make sure that you're caught up and you're working alongside us, or you can work at your own pace as well. Okay. And it says the jazz musician cannot find their trumpet. I'm detecting something belonging to the jazz musician behind the wall. Tara is so helpful, right? They're so helpful. So we're going to close this and watch what happens. We have to start our activity. So we need to use code to move the time agent through the maze and collect the trumpet. So Taylor, when I look at this, do you think might be beneficial if I maybe got a piece of paper and a pencil and I wrote down the movements that I need to do? And I guess, is this called like an algorithm? Do I need to create this algorithm of like moving forward by 2 or moving up or moving down?
Yeah, so it can definitely be helpful to map out the moves that you need before you even start coding. I do that quite frequently, you know, as I'm working on other parts of Minecraft. So yeah, I always find it helpful to kind of write down what you think you'll need to do before actually diving into the code.
Awesome. So students out there, I mean, I've got my piece of paper and pencil ready, and I can see that we probably need to move forward by, is it 3?
Yep, so I like counting moving forward 1, 2, 3 to get into this open space.
Okay, 4 by 3. And then where are we heading?
Well, then we have the choice. We could go up or down to get around this central block. I'll probably go up by 1.
Okay.
And then let's see, from here we'll need to move forward 1, 2 spaces. So moving forward by 2. And then we got to get down to that opening. So let's see, moving down 1, 2 spaces.
Right.
And then we got to move forward another 1, 2 spaces.
Perfect.
And up another 1, 2 spaces.
Okay.
And then forward by 1, 2 to pick up that trumpet.
Perfect. So you're saying that we probably should be planning things before we just dive into it sometimes. But sometimes it is fun just to go for it, right? So students out there, if you want to give it a try, I got a feeling that we did some really good planning. I've written it down really simple, just some letters and the numbers on how far we need to move. So maybe you want to do that out there, but maybe you just want to give it a whirl and try your luck and see where you've made some mistakes and try it again. And you never know, we might have counted wrong and made some mistakes here. So, so what do we do next?
All right, I'm going to press the C button to code. All right, and then we have our nice blocks again. So let's see, we said we were going to move forward by 1, 2, 3 to start. So moving forward by 3. And then I'm going to drag another one of these guys right below that to do next, and you can change this direction if you click on this. So then we wanted to move up. So we're going to move up 1. And then let's see, we said move forward by 2. So again, we're going to change that. And then let's see, now we're here, so moving down by 2. So again, clicking on this to change the direction to down and changing the number to 2. And let's see, moving forward again by 1, 2.
I really like how you've got that split screen there. I know when I do this sometimes, I get a full screen, so I can't actually see that code. Is there a quick way that I could split that screen?
So I think it depends on your device, because if your screen's too small, we don't want, you're trying to code in such a small window. But I will say here, I can make this a larger window and then click this button to make that smaller. I can also, sometimes what I find helpful, which you'll see here, right? Like we're in this square right now. So if I have this move up 2, then you'll see, I kind of like, oh no, like kind of it's blocking off where I have to go to. I can actually click flip window and it'll pop this to the other side. So then I can see the trumpet on this end step here.
Awesome. So clicking the 3 lines there under the X might help you if you've got a full screen and you're unable to sort of split that screen. And it might not, depending on your computer. So,
yep.
Perfect.
All right, so I think we need to finish this up by moving forward 2, and then we need to collect the item. So I'm going to say agent collect all to actually pick up that trumpet. All right. And then I like just kind of seeing my agent here, and we're going to click this green play button and see if our code worked. And there we go.
That's awesome. So I know when I've tried this once before and I wasn't able to actually pick up the trumpet. I think it's because I got the trumpet, but I didn't walk into that sort of that darker block area. It just sort of stopped. So I think if you did collect the trumpet, you might need to do one more line of code that moves forward 1. That's my only troubleshooting issue. I don't know if you've run into that before, but that's students out there. If you're able to pick up your trumpet and it hasn't popped up that the jazz musician is thanking you, then you might just need to move forward one or 2 more squares. Perfect. We prepared the first time split. Awesome. So what's next? What do we got to do?
All right, now we are going to be scanning. We found a secret.
Again, with these buttons, we're looking for a hidden button. Search the area from top to bottom. and we're going to press the button to gather more information. So we got to go on a little hunt in this room in the 1920s to find a new button. And we have a nice little path that lit up for us just to give us a little help, right?
All right, once I found the button, I'm gonna press the secret button.
So we have a culprit hideout. So we're looking now. I guess we're in charge of trying to find out who's created all these time splits. This is kind of a fun task, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we got to find a secret room. And what is this? Which time agent? Our culprit is a time agent. Which one? Remember this clue and we'll discuss your findings. So I'm going to remember this clue. I'm going to write this down. Who is in there? There's the Yeti. And there's the gremlin. Which one do we think it might be? I don't know. I like the gremlin. I thought the gremlin has just a, I don't know. I thought it was a sweet little agent. So I hope that it didn't.
I'll let you in on a little secret to help you remember names. I like looking at the colors because I think that's easier to remember. But the names start with the same letter that the color starts with.
We have an alliteration there, don't we?
Yeah.
Yellow Yeti, green gremlin. I love it.
Yep.
Awesome. So now we need to use the talk device to leave. So make sure that the talk device is in your hand. You might have to press numbers 1 to 9 to make sure that it's in your hand. And you're just going to right click it. And we're going to end the mission. And we're going to head back to our control center. Who must be causing? So we get to take a guess.
All right.
Well, it's got to be one of the two, right? We got to have either the Yeti or the gremlin, correct?
Yeah. Let's see. I think I'm gonna go with gremlin just as a guess.
Okay, let's take a guess. And we'll keep a close watch on that time agent. Based on the data I've gathered from your previous mission, we've detected the next time split. So we're going to do this again. Awesome. So let's close this out. And let's go select another time split. So when we head back in, again, you can follow that trail, but we're just heading back to that big screen there. And do we have to select the one that's on the board?
So you don't have to. No, you can actually select any of them.
Would you recommend that we select the one that's on the board?
I'd recommend it, but I have to say I have not always matched it.
I love this, and I like that it's a create your own adventure. Almost.
Yeah.
Right? It's one of those books where we can turn to page 26 or turn to page 54.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, for this one, I'm gonna match the image.
I love some of these images. Is there some throwback to the original Minecraft in here as well?
I don't know.
What's that on the bear? Is that the globe on the bear, or what is that called? I don't know. Maybe some of our students out there can help us out. Maybe they know. Okay, so you've selected the hot air balloon towing what looks to be a nice big truck. I'm excited for this one.
Yep.
So once you select it, you're going to need to head back to your time portal, or what do we call this? This time jump. Time pod, sorry, time pod. I knew I was close. And we're going to press that button, and we're going to go back in. We got 2 more remaining. So it says, here's a time split where the airplanes never took off, literally. Now everyone is using balloons to travel, but the idea is just full of hot air. Look at that pun. You creators at Minecraft over there. Travel to the United States during the early 1900s to make sure the first flight takes off. So if you are following along and you've chosen this one, awesome. Maybe you've chosen a different one, and that's totally cool too. That's up to you. But if you want to follow along with us, I encourage you, especially if maybe this is your first time in Minecraft doing some hour of code, or maybe you're just new to this, I encourage you to choose the one and follow along, work alongside us. But again, it's up to you. You get to choose your adventure. So we're going to close down that one, and we're going to head into our time pod. We got 2 more jumps remaining, and let's jump off. Airstrip, United States of America, 1900s. Where do these holes in my runway come from? I will never get enough speed to lift off now. If this flight fails, people will continue to mock me from their air balloons and will never fly like the birds. I love these little creative ideas. Oh no, it looks like the flight engineer is about to give up. Let's fix this airstrip. Start your mission by using your talk device to call your agent. So talk device is in your hotbar, it's in your hand. We're going to place that talk device down by right clicking, or like you said, Taylor, you have a left click, and we're going to start our activity. Fantastic. Now that the time agent is in place, let's use the code to repair the runway. Wonderful.
All right, so as we can see, there's these 3 holes in the runway that we're going to need to repair. So let's see. I press C to code to open up.
Ooh, it looks like we got some new blocks in there. Is that because when you had to move forward and we had a lot of different types of lines that were very similar, we just want to work smarter, not harder?
Yeah, so there's, for each activity, you'll have, kind of different options available to you. And so, yeah, with this one, we can definitely work smarter, not harder by using a loop.
Awesome.
So
what are we going to do first?
All right, so let's see. As you can see, our first hole is right in front of our agent. And so let's see here. So I'm going to place a block. Actually, hang on. I'm going to move forward so that way my agent is right over that hole. And then I'm going to place a block down. So that way the agent will move forward over this hole and then place a block right underneath itself. And then since there's 2 holes side by side, we're going to need to do that again. So we're going to need to move forward and place the block down. Now, because we're doing the exact same thing again, we can use a loop to do this. So if I place this here and then drag these guys within that loop, I want this to repeat 2 times. That way my agent will move forward, place a block down, and then move forward again and place a block down.
I like how we now, instead of using 4 lines of code, we're using 3 lines of code, right?
Yep.
Great. And a friendly reminder, students out there, if you are running into problems, you can always click on that light bulb and it's flashing there on the top right of your screen. Click on that light bulb and you might get a little hint.
Yep.
Perfect. All right. So do you run the code right away to test it out? And if you did run the code, maybe could you run the code right now and see where we're at?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's run this. All right, awesome. So you can see that we filled that hole and our agent has moved forward. Now we're going to need to move our agent to, in front of this next hole. And so we can kind of do this by, we're going to move forward. Sorry about the warnings. I don't believe you guys should have those. All right, so this is the hole right here. So we're going to need to move our agent forward 1, 2, and then to the right 1, 2 to get in front of this next hole. So let's see, we're going to move forward by 2 and to the right by 2. Now, because moving like that will end us right in front of this other hole. That's where we started on the first one. So then we can go directly into that other loop that we just wrote about moving forward 1, placing a block down, moving forward 1, placing a block down.
That's pretty convenient. If you didn't have that though, could you reset your agent at the beginning? Or could you reset your code?
Yeah, so I believe here, if you use your talk device, you can reset the activity here or ask for a hint.
Or for another hint. So maybe can you just throw that hint up just so we can see what it looks like?
Yeah. There we go.
So we get the track. Perfect.
Yep. And so then this is the track that our agent should probably follow.
Awesome. All right. So let's get back to our coding screen. Thanks for showing that.
Yeah. So I'm going to run this right now, and then that way we can see where our agent ends up. All right, so I'm going to just press that start button. We can see moved over and filled in that second hole. Now, if we move on to this third one, you'll see that we need to move the agent forward by 2, to the right by 2, and then fill in that hole. Now that's the exact same thing that we just did. So I can just simply hit the play button again, and it'll do exactly what we need. Ta-da!
Awesome. Runway is now being restored. Let's give this glider another try. Awesome. So we've repaired this moment in time. Modern flight has been saved, and people can travel anywhere in the world in hours. I love how we kind of go back in time, and this has just sparked some interest in me. And it's like, okay, well, thinking about airplanes and when they're invented and who were the first people that invented them, and then who was the first person that took a flight that took an hour, or maybe the longest flight, the first longest flight, and then the first flight around the world, and all that stuff. It just sparking some interest for me. So I like how we can go back and I just like history, and I like learning about these sort of things too. So awesome. So now that we've done this, we've got to search that area for the button, because I believe we've got another hint coming up to see who our culprit is. So we're going to walk around our world here.
Oh, I think I spy that gold block.
Ah, there it is. Now, are all of them, it doesn't matter what world we're in, they're all going to be on a gold block, just sort of to highlight that button, right? Yeah, so we're looking for a gold block, no matter what world you're working in. Yeah, perfect. Or what time split you're working in, sorry. Oh, I can already see. There's my buddy, the gremlin. It looks like he's been around a couple times now. All right, so I'm going to write down gremlin and rascal. I really hope it's the rascal. The rascal is a fitting name for someone that's causing some problems, right?
I don't know, gremlins can be pretty tricky too.
It can be. All right, so once you've completed that next time split, we're going to be able to right click, and we're going to end our mission. And we've got one more to go. And again, no matter where you are, you might want to pause as teachers and give your students some playtime, because we've got these experts on here that are going relatively at an expert pace. And that's great. And maybe you are able to keep up with us, or maybe you need a little bit more time, like myself, who probably needs double the time, if not triple. So if you need to pause us and let your students complete some of these tasks and then keep playing, that's totally fine with us. Okay, but now we've got to gather the information. We think it's the gremlin, because we've seen the gremlin twice, because I've written the gremlin down and I've highlighted it and circled it. So there's our gremlin. I'm assuming we're going to select the gremlin, right?
Yep.
Yep. All right. So we're going to keep an eye on that, and we're going to close that out. And we have our final time split to select. And it looks like we're going to space for this one. Awesome. I love it. So we're going to select that one, and we're going to head back to the time pod, where we have one more jump remaining. Let's do it. I found a time split where the Apollo 11 rocket is stuck in orbit and will never make it to the moon. We have to fix this. Travel to the NASA Launch Operations Center on May 25th, 1961, and get those astronauts to the moon. Let's do this. We've just received a message from Apollo 11. The landing navigation data has been deleted. How can we get the data back to them? I've got the calculations to save the mission right here. Ooh, the mathematician is going to help us out. The NASA mathematician, and then the NASA engineer will have to manually send the landing navigation data and hope Apollo 11 receives it. So I know that I'm reading this, and maybe we're in a different world that some of these characters come up, and maybe you're working on it, and there's lots of to read there, right? Students out there, if you ever wanted it to be read back to you, because I know that I love story time, I love being read things, you can always click on that little book with the speaker, and it opens up immersive reader for you. So this will actually read back what is on that text card. So it's really helpful for you. And maybe there's some students out there that are that English isn't their first language. You can always translate this into a language that might be more suitable for you. So there's a little book at the top right that you can click on and translate that language into something that might be a little bit more easier for you to work with. Okay, so really helpful. And then all you do is you press the button that there's an escape button, or on your keyboard, you can press the top left button, ESC, and that will just get you right back to where we are. So it says, then let's get to work. Here's how we reach them. First, forward 25, then turn right, then forward 17, and finally down 3. So this is why my piece of paper and my pen has come in handy, right? So first forward 25, then turn right, then forward 17, and finally down 3. Okay, I've written that down. So if you need some help here, Taylor, I'm ready to help you.
All right. I've also written that down since those, are longer instructions to memorize.
Yeah. So we got to use our talk device to teleport our time agent. So we've done this a few times. So we're going to close that. We're going to your left click. You confused me with the left click.
Yeah. Sorry.
You confused me, and I'm sure some students out there are like, you left click? And I'm sure you've won some students over it, and they're going to be like, I only left click now because Taylor left. So we're going to start our activity. Just in time. Now that the time agent is in place, let's use code to deliver the landing navigation data to Apollo 11 so they can safely land on the moon. So let's do this. We're going to press C to code. Oh, you got to walk up and take a look. This looked like the opening scene where we kind of came in.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, I'm going to press that C to code button. All right, and I think it's time to follow the mathematician's directions, which is nice that they've written it up here. All right, so that was what, forward 25?
Yeah.
All right, and then we're turning right.
We're going to turn right.
All right, what's next?
Forward 17.
Okay. Forward 17, and then what?
Down 3.
All right, let's see. Down 3. All right, let's try this out.
Thank you, Apollo 11 has received the data. Awesome. We did it as a team. Thank you, everyone, for your incredible work. So that one was, that was a great one to end off of because, we're successful. Our coding skills are stellar. You prepared this moment in time, and the future of space exploration is safe. Awesome. So what happens next? We're going to head back. We're going to scan.
Yeah, we gotta.
Secret detected. We're going to get the gremlin in trouble. Search area for the button. In one of the control pads here. There we go. So it also, this made me think, I don't know what other students are thinking about that, but I did read from the NPC there that it was 1961 and Apollo 11, and they can't land on the moon. I thought they landed on the moon in 69, but I'm not sure. And so this makes me want to do a little bit more research about what happened to Apollo 11 and what was Apollo 11. And so it just sparked some interest. That's all. So we found the secret room. Let's head on into the secret room. We found the secret room. Take note of what agents we see. The gremlin. There it is. All right, so we got gremlin and banshee. Blue banshee. I like it. All right, I've written that one down, even though I'm pretty sure we don't need to remember that one. And we're going to use our talk device to leave. Make sure that's in your hotbar there. Numbers 1 to 9 allows you to move that along. We're going to end our mission. And it says, based on the evidence you've gathered, which do you think is causing all the time splits? We have officially decided that the gremlin's been around for every single one.
Yep.
Let's select our gremlin. We prepared the time. Perfect. Now that we have this situation under control, meet me at the center of the control room to store your time agent in the back in their pod. So we're going to head through. We're going to sort of finish this up. We're going to go see Tara. Perfect. We can see them in the storage pods. We can use our talk device one more time. So once your agents pop up like that, feel free to use your talk device to return our agent. Great work. We're finished with the time agents now, except you, gremlin. We need to talk. It appears this agent was switched to villain mode. There we go. Now this time agent won't be causing any more issues. Those villain modes, they get you. It's never too late to change and do the right thing. Thank you for your help. This has been the best outcome we could have asked for, but not the only one. You can always try again and explore alternate outcomes. Ooh, alternate time lapses. I like that idea. So we've received we have a time wizard. Are there different ranks that we can receive?
Yeah, there are.
Awesome. And it says, when you're ready, use the talk device to replay this game. Thanks again. So no matter where you are, maybe we can show our students this as we start to wrap things up. Maybe we can show them if they did finish their 3 time splits, because I'm sure there's some of you out there that have gone through this pretty quick. And there's some of you that are still kind of slowly going at it, and that's okay. But if you have finished, the nice thing is, and I know teachers out there are probably gonna like this too, we have the extension activities, right? So you don't just say, I'm done and dusted. I know some students are gonna be like, miss, I'm done, or Mr. Lewis, I'm all done. You can always do more, right? There's always more to do. So we can use the talk device to replay. So if you place that talk device down again, what happens? So we can click on replay. Up pops Tara. We go to the next. And then we can choose blocks or Python. Maybe because we have a little bit of extra time, maybe you could just click on Python to show what it would look like.
Yeah.
And I know Drew's in the background, and I know Drew has been excited because he wants to see some Python, but he had an issue today with his device, and that happens to us all. And it's okay. We still wanted you to do some Python if you did it. So again, we've just chosen Python, and now you get to start all over. So we can go up and we can choose a different agent. So maybe go up and just grab a different agent if you can.
Yeah, maybe we'll give Gremlin a chance this time.
Maybe we'll redeem. Let's give him some redemption here. I think the Gremlin can. I think morality. I think it might need it. And then we're tasked to go to.
So we're gonna press C. And just hit that green play button. Right. And now we can immediately select a time split since we've already kind of done that initial activity.
Perfect. Do we have about 5 minutes left? I don't want to put you on the spot here, but maybe we could do one in Python.
Yeah.
And if we had to, maybe Drew can guide you. He can be your guide. If I can't guide you, maybe Drew, you want to jump on here and guide Taylor through this one?
I can try. I've got faith in Taylor.
Do you have an activity that you'd like to do, Drew? We don't have to select the sand one.
I'll just pick a new one.
All right, I think I'm going to pick the bear then, because that looks intriguing to me. Over to the time pod again. Let's see what's happening.
They've never tamed dogs, so you're tasked with what an unbearable situation. So we're going to travel to Siberian wilderness and help train some dogs. Awesome.
Right, let's go. I don't think that bear's being very cooperative playing fetch.
I wonder what immersive reader sounds like when you put the. So it just says that we must have this scared most of the dogs away. So the scan shows that there are dogs in the area. We need to lead. Let's lead one of these people. Let's lead one to these people. There we go.
Yes.
We'll use our talk device again, and I'm going to stop talking, Drew, and I'm going to let you run this through.
Oh, you're doing so great.
All right, so we want to use code to drop a trail of food. All right, so I'm going to explore the area a little bit to see where we're going. All right, so here's our dog. Here's Gremlin. And I think we want to lead the dog all the way over here. This lovely campsite of people over here.
Okay.
Oops, hang on. All right. And here is our Python. All right, so here's the description. Drop a beetroot every 5 blocks, leading the wolves to the campfire directly ahead of the agent's starting position.
And it looks like there is some examples and helpful hints above this for those of us who are not the greatest with Python, which would be me.
My hand's up here.
All right, so let's see. First, we need to make sure that our agent has beetroot to drop. So we're going to say agent.give and then beetroot, written it all. And I'm going to go ahead and follow the examples given above of, let's say, 64. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, Drew, but I believe this will give us 64 beetroot in inventory slot 1.
Yep.
Okay, and we're giving that to the agents. This is why the agent's up there. All right. And then let's see. We probably want to drop a beetroot immediately, right? Since the dog's a little bit behind us.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. So let's see. Agent.drop. And let's see. This one here, sorry if the screen's a little small. This one means we're dropping 1 item from inventory slot 1. Is that right?
Yep.
All right.
Doing great.
So we've already put our beetroot in our inventory slot 1, so we should be dropping 1 beetroot. And then let's see, we need to drop a beetroot every 5 blocks. So if I drop one here, I'm going to want to move forward 5 blocks. And how we move forward in Python is agent dot move forward with the word forward in quotation marks.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and so I think kind of as these examples are showing, right, we can either copy that command 5 times, right? So we end up with 5 lines of code saying move forward, or we can use a loop to do that for us. So I'm going to go ahead out and try a loop. So let's see, for I in range, and I think we want this to be 5. That way we run this command 5 times. And this is going to then move forward 5 times. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just try this code out right now. So let's see. If we run this, we can see that we've dropped a beetroot and moved forward, and the dog follows to pick up that beetroot. All right, so let's see. I'm going to kind of guess at how far do you think that is, Drew?
That looks like 5 blocks. Oh, how far to the end?
Yeah, how far to the end? I would say maybe another 3 times of that, right? Dropping 1, moving forward 5. All right, so I could do a couple things. I could simply press this run button 3 more times to kind of, you know, move forward each time. I could also add another loop to do this. So we don't need to give ourselves 64 beetroot more times. We already have beetroot. So I'm going to put the start of our loop right here. And I'm going to say I'm going to use a different variable. So for j in range, and I think we have to do this 3 more times to get to the end, but I could be wrong. So let's say 3 times. Then I'm going to make sure all of these are indented more. That way it's as part of this for loop. Okay, so this should run dropping the beetroot and then moving 5. That should run 3 more times since we've added that loop. So I'm going to go ahead and press this run button and let's see.
Oh, it's beautiful.
All right, so we've moved forward quite a bit more, but we haven't quite made it to the campsite yet. All right, so I think we need to move forward maybe another 2 just to place that beetroot where the agent is, and then maybe right here.
So while you're finishing that one up, I just have a quick question. To get started with Python, if students, this might be their first time, because I mean, this is amazing, but I'm already a little confused. And so did you follow the pro tips to get you started? Is that what you would suggest?
Yeah, so I would definitely suggest looking at the pro tips and the examples here. They'll do a great job of letting you know kind of what commands are possible and how you'd write them. So kind of how in block-based coding we have, you know, that all the blocks listed off on the side. I would almost think of kind of these pro tips as the same sort of thing, like showing you what commands are possible.
Awesome. So we are running out of time. You can try to finish that up real quick if you want, because I know it's tough that you don't. Oh, there it is. You finish it so fast. So I think sometimes we're a little hesitant to get into something new, but that seemed like, I mean, it seemed like it's quite doable, right? I think you just have to sort of follow the instructions and not be timid by those sort of lines and just say, this is a new language. I don't know this language. But I think it's quite user-friendly, I guess we would say, right?
Yeah.
So, Taylor, that was great. And Drew, thank you both for jumping on here and really being able to showcase some of these things with our students. And I know that they're super pumped that you were able to be here with us and share your knowledge and background with everybody. I think it's so nice that you spent some time with the kids out there today. But we are out of time, and that went by really fast. And I think I really hope that you had some fun out there. I know that I had some fun, but when you are finished, you do get to get yourself a nice little certificate. So when you click on your finished, you get your certificate. You can grab that and you can save it as a PDF to your device, and you can even print that off. So it's really nice that they're giving you one of those things. But we do want to hear from you one more time. We only have about a minute left or so, but we want to know, what agent did you code with, and or what was your favorite time gap to fix? I think we'll go with this one. What was your favorite time gap to fix? Let us know in the cc.page/MEE. Chime in on that. We'll see your answers trickling through as we've kind of come to an end today. So let us know, because we can still see these answers, and Taylor and Drew can also see them coming through. So we do want to know, and that might just give them some insight, like, oh, this one was a great one. Maybe we can repeat this one. All these students loved doing the bear, so, or feeding the dog. So maybe we can do something in the future with this. So let us know. We'll share that with our Minecraft experts today. Which one did you like best? And as we come to an end, thank you, the three of you, Drew, Taylor, Ashley, and everyone at Minecraft Education. Amar, you're a rock star working in the back there too. So thank you everybody for being here. We now need you to connect with your teacher for your next steps. I know you might be finishing up some things, and that's okay, but you might have to take your hands off your computer, have your eyes on your teacher, and let them know that you're ready to go for the next task in your class or wherever you may be joining us from today. And thank you so much from Cobblestone Collective and Minecraft Education. And we hope to see you again soon on one of our co-taught lessons using Minecraft Education. So thanks again, everybody, and have a wonderful day.